Do you feel like you're always the one who has to give, who has to be useful, who has to deliver, otherwise you won't be accepted? Regardless if you're a man or a woman watching this, listen up. If you saw yourself having these patterns, this video is for you. And let me share with you a few stories. I saw this so much in my romantic relationships, but also in my friendships, where I would keep attracting people where I had to be useful. So I remember I had like my best friend, my best girlfriend. She she was actually always having some kind of problems and trouble, and then she would call me. She would call me to vent. She would call me to help her. I don't know, she had a habit of like losing stuff. She would call me to help her with that. So I had to be like, useful. And I didn't realize at the time, but it was something that was bothering me. But I was so used to it. Like, love wasn't given freely to me. And I'm not saying that I'm entitled of love, like obviously I have to be a kind friend, a kind person to receive that, but it's also not right that I don't get love at all. But I have to be useful. I'm the one who gets called if I'm needed, but I'm not getting any love, connection. Okay, so let me know in the comments if this is something you've experienced where you feel like you're being taken advantage of in the relationship and you feel like you have to be useful to be in a relationship. And this pattern continued so much. This pattern continued. I had the guys I was dating, I attracted men where I felt like I have to be useful. I had to clean something for them, always go to the place that they liked. And the problem is, it's not about that we are useful. Even right now, I love to help people. Like, I just generally love to support people with emotions, physically. This is not the problem. The problem was that I attracted people in romantic relationships and family members and also friends where I didn't get love. I didn't get connection. I didn't get support. And the only way I kind of like kept the connection was by being useful. The only way I connected the connection to the person is by being useful. And why did I do it? Because I didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to be lonely. Yeah, so for me in my brain, there was like, okay, I'm either alone or I'm useful. Okay, what other people need from me? Okay, my girlfriend needs that I help her with her stuff all the time. My other girlfriend needed me to help her with all of her university stuff because she thought I'm really good in those topics, so I can help her. This guy, um, he wants some kind of support, emotional support. He wants me to clean his house. He wants whatever he wants. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give this to those people because otherwise I will be alone. And I'm gonna tell you quickly that this doesn't have to be that way, and there's a way out. And we're gonna be talking about this in this video here. Okay, so stay tuned. And also, I'd like to share with you that if you're in a situation or you just genuinely would like to attract your dream relationship, your dream partner, reach out for a free love audit call. You can send me an email, or I also have a link in the description box and in my bio. Okay, so let's get to how to change that. So it doesn't have to be that way. You don't have to be taken advantage of in a relationship. You don't have to be always useful. And I've been able to switch that around with lots of coaching in our work, where right now I have authentic relationships where I'm being loved, I'm being accepted for who I am. And it doesn't mean that I'm not useful, that I'm not supportive. I still am. But I am supportive because I'm a good human, not to earn connection, to earn love. You know what I mean? And let me tell you what steps I had to take to make this shift. First of all, there was just so much unworthiness issues inside of me where I felt like I don't deserve love unless I'm useful. So if someone actually loved me or accepted me or adored me, I remember I was on a date with a guy who really thought I'm pretty and I'm kind, and he told me, "You're so pretty, you're so kind." I was like, what's wrong with this guy? He thinks I'm pretty, he thinks I'm kind, he even wants to pay for the date. Like, I didn't even do anything for him. I'm not used to just being liked for doing nothing. I'm only used being liked or tolerated if I'm useful. So you see, like my childhood pattern, which unfortunately came from me not growing up with my parents, I didn't get that parental love. I only got attention or praise or love or whatever if I was useful. Like I was that step kid that was like ignored, like go in your corner. Like I don't want to see you. But if you're useful, yeah, you can hang around. So, that's my story, but you might have another reason why you felt in that trap. Maybe you felt very, very lonely and you figured out, okay, if I'm useful, if I please a man or if I please a woman, if I get her lots of flowers, if I repair her car, I get her money for whatever she wants, and I'm just like not talking and let her be mean to me, then I will have connection. So this goes both ways for women and men, and I really want to address that because it's not a healthy dynamic, but there's many reasons why you can find yourself in there, and let's just discuss every single one. So again, the first one, which was also in my case the worthiness problem, I just felt unworthy because this is just what I knew from my childhood, yeah. So it showed up by being like, yeah, what's wrong with this guy? Why he even likes me? And I see this also in other people, in men and women, where it's like if they see someone liking them without them being useful or working hard, it's like they can't receive it. Just like I said, like, why would someone just like me without me being useful? Like, they can't receive it. And I myself noticed that with my clients and with myself dating, sometimes even when I would just show a man that I'm interested and I'm just like happy to get to know him, without him working for it, he couldn't receive it. And it was just so sad because it's just an unworthiness thing. It's just something we get to change. Okay. So that's this first reason, unworthiness. Check. You check it by having people around you wanting to love you, wanting to accept you, and you're like, what's wrong with this person? Also, when you start in your head criticizing them and putting them down, this is also showing up as your a symptom of unworthiness. I remember these guys who actually accepted me, who liked me. In my head, I was like, oh, I'm not interested. And again, it can also happen for men, so I'm speaking here to both. Oh, I'm not interested. Yeah, it's not so interesting. But another person, man, or even in girlfriends situations, where those people like just ignored me and only gave me attention when I did something useful, I just got so excited. I just got so happy, like I just got, oh yeah, now I'm useful, now I wait for the attention, so it's like I'm so happy, like this is how unworthiness issues come up. It can be in women and men. I know this word isn't sexy, but this is just how it comes up. When you can't even receive it, you don't even see it. You're like, okay, this person is just weird. Why they even yeah, like I don't want to hang out with them. Okay, so if you are facing that, it's really hard to spot by yourself. I had to do so much work, coaching work with specialists to overcome that. So make sure to reach out to me for a free love outlet call if you want my support on your journey. Okay, then the second step, which we've got a lot, and I was there too, unfortunately. The second step is that when you feel lonely, you don't have anyone, you're just lonely, it can be also a coping mechanism to get love. Not only love, also intimacy. Maybe for some, especially for some men, it's like, okay, I want intimacy, I want physical intimacy, you know what I mean? I'm lonely, okay, let me be useful for the girl so that eventually she will like me, eventually she will love me, eventually she will also, let me have some intimacy with her. And while I get it, like I get that thinking, I was there myself too as a woman. Um, Maybe not so much with men, but especially with girlfriends. I do get it. But first of all, it doesn't feel good for both parties, honestly. Because another person who's receiving your useful behavior, they don't necessarily want to give you anything back unless it's unless it's like a business transaction. Like they don't necessarily want to love you, they don't necessarily want to spend time with you, they don't necessarily want to have intimacy with you, because if they did, they would just do it even without you being useful. And this is something that I really had to sit on, that these people, they really don't like me. They don't want to spend time with me. Or when you are a man and you're just lonely and you're like, okay, when I'm useful, then she will want to be with me. But if you're not useful and she doesn't want to be with you, it shows how she really thinks. It shows what she really wants. And again, I'm not saying you guys are not gonna help no one. That's not what I'm talking about. Of course, in relationships, is it romantic, is it family, is it friends, we help each other. Yeah? We help each other, we support each other, we are useful for each other. Yes. But let's separate the support for each other, where two people support each other, not just one person, two people, that's healthy. Okay? Keep it in mind. Two, okay, I get to support you in hopes that I get love, in hopes that I get intimacy, in hopes that I get physical intimacy, you know what I mean, right? Um, so it doesn't feel good for the other person. The other person doesn't want to spend time with you. She or he doesn't want to love you. She or he doesn't want to have intimacy with you. They just don't. And if you would receive that love, you know in your heart it's not real. You know it's conditional. You know it's fake. And yet I know, especially as a person that feels lonely, and I've been there too, feels isolated, we still might go for the deal, because better that kind of connection of like, okay, fine, let's hang out a bit because, you're useful to me, you did something for me, than nothing. I get that we all have human needs, which is having intimacy, emotional, physical intimacy. But let me give you the solution here, okay? So let me ask you this. What would it take for you to actually be liked by people, to actually be loved by people, to actually be accepted, to actually be physically wanted by people? And while I'm not gonna say that you have to be more useful, because that's like kind of a transaction of, I'm gonna fix your car or I'm gonna clean your kitchen so that you love me. But what would it take? And I'm gonna tell you this here. Of course, one big step is feeling worthy of that, and stop judging and rejecting those people who actually like you and you're like, nah, they're not my type. Like, this is so subconscious. You probably will not agree with me, but I'm taking you deep. This is something we will talk about in our coaching calls. But the second thing, which is extremely important, is that you yourself like you the way that you are. You yourself love you the way that you are. You yourself can give yourself love, because if we don't have that self love, it either goes into one or two directions. One can be more narcissistic direction. Like there was this saying, narcissists want validation. And again, I've been on this side too. We all have, all of us in us, of like, okay, I don't love myself, so I'm gonna crave validation, okay? Through helping someone, validation, through looking good, validation, through doing that. But really there is emptiness inside. Or it goes into the other direction of the codependent person, of the co-narcissist, who is trying to please, trying to be useful, trying to do this to get love, because there's nothing inside. So you've got to build that self-love. You've got to really sit down with yourself, start saying good things to yourself, start making a relationship with yourself, start spending time with yourself. And I know that sometimes it's not easy. In my life, I had times where being 5 minutes alone was scary. I didn't want to be with myself. I didn't like myself. I felt empty inside. And I kept distracting myself with work, studies, all of these things. I didn't want to sit in silence. I just didn't. And I get that. For me, because I never developed that connection to myself, first of all. But secondly, unfortunately, I was also highly traumatized through my childhood, and all of these emotions, unprocessed triggers were just like bubbling up, and I just numbed my emotions, like just go away, let's just work, let's just do stuff. And when I tried to open that, when I tried to sit in silence, when I tried to connect to my emotions, everything would just explode and I would lose control. And for me, I actually didn't yell at others or put them down on anything, which can happen to so many people. For me, it was more like a freeze. We have like fight, flight, freeze. Like I was more in freeze or flight. So I would just like cry or not cry and lock myself in my room and not talk to anyone. For years. Yes, for years. But again, there is support. Okay, so I've got the support, I've got out of this, and I'm able to actually right now have a relationship with myself, to sit in silence, and all of those past traumas, whatever happened to me, is no longer boiling up. I'm not reaching the point where I'm overwhelmed, just grounded, and that feels so, so good. Okay, so self-love. Start with 2 minutes, 5 minutes, just being in silence and asking yourself how I am, for men and women. And I know that in our society, people say, "Oh man, you shouldn't ask yourself how you are, how you feel." That's self-abandonment. That's not true masculinity. Every human deserves to ask yourself how you are, what you need, how you feel. Right? Just like every human needs to eat, needs to drink water, needs to sleep. It's just a human thing. Okay? Only because you're a man, yes, you are a warrior, you are strong, you are everything, but you can take a break and you can develop that self-connection and self-love as well, because otherwise, guess what? If you don't have it, you're gonna still seek it. You're gonna still seek it through those either people-pleasing ways or validation seeking ways. Or you're gonna seek it through being useful in a relationship in hopes to get love, just because you need love. And it's so simple to get it. You need to sit down every single day with yourself. Okay, and I'm giving you the whole blueprint here, but I also know that it is difficult to do it by yourself a lot. I've personally been guided for so many years through coaches, and I'm so blessed that I had that journey And I've been able to guide so many women and men in this journey as well. So, beside the point of self love, oh, there was something else that I wanted to tell you. Self love, give me a second. So, what will help you speaking up? What will help you having authentic? Okay, I've got my train of thoughts. Next time I'll try to take notes. Okay, another thing that will make you attract healthy relationships and connection without you having to perform and being useful. I mean, you can, but it's not necessarily that you're liked, is being yourself emotionally available. Okay, and it kind of goes with the self love thing. What does that mean? So, from my own story, right? Like, I was emotionally unavailable. Unavailable means, imagine you call, like, you go to a store and you want milk, and then it's sold out. So the store is unavailable to sell it to you. Okay, that's what I mean. It's empty. And emotionally unavailable means that it's empty. There's nothing inside. And this is who I was because I numbed my emotions. I didn't have the self connection to my emotions. Um I didn't have the self connection to my emotions. I didn't have the relationship with myself. So there was nothing. I was just numb. I was just functioning, doing. And a lot of women, but also especially men, are just functioning, doing. And I know it comes from a good intention. You want to be successful, you want to be practical, you don't want to waste time, hashtag waste time, on like yourself, emotions. Like, what's that, right? And I myself thought like that. And because I was so unavailable, I was emotionally not there. People couldn't connect with me because there was nothing. I was gone. Like, emotionally available people love. Emotionally available people connect. Emotionally available people listen to you. And but emotionally available people are not going to be friends with you, are not going to be in a relationship with you if no one is there, because they're like showing up, okay, I'm emotionally available. That means I'm connecting to my own emotions. My emotions are there. They're not numb. I'm not just a robot functioning. And an emotionally available person has the ability to love, has the ability to accept you, to connect to you. But if you are empty yourself, they can't. They can't love you. They can't connect to you. Like, it needs two people to have access to their own emotions in order to connect to each other. So I'm going to tell you in a second how you can connect to your emotions and become more available. But let me give you first the example of, so when I was, numb and I was trying to get love because I had no love inside me, those people were also emotionally unavailable. They couldn't give me love. They were faking maybe some love, pity, tolerance towards me, but they they were empty themselves. So two emotionally unavailable people met each other, and one was like faking love and attention, and one was like trying to be useful to get the fake love. It's like two people are starving for love. Like, there's just nothing inside there. Nothing. Okay, so the whole cycle is breakable. You get to be loved. You don't have to do stuff to be loved. You get to be loved. You get to be around men and women that actually want to spend time with you, that actually want to talk to you, that actually want to have intimacy with you. And I know a lot of us, women and men, think it comes from status, beauty, power. And I'm not going to deny that these things don't help initially for the first 5 minutes. But true love cannot exist, cannot. if you're emotionally unavailable. And that means that we've got to build that emotional availability. How to do it? You've got to ask yourself at least 5 minutes a day, how am I feeling? And if you say, oh, like this is not for me, I feel uncomfortable, of course you feel uncomfortable. Because it's a new way of doing. Especially as a man, you might feel like men don't talk about feelings. No one asks you to talk about this. You have to ask yourself how you're feeling. Because this is the only way you can find a woman who truly loves you. Because a woman who can love, who can care for you, for who you are, will only be with you if you're emotionally available, if you're not a rock and just functioning. You ask yourself, how am I feeling actually? How am I enjoying this day? Yeah? So start with that. Start with that simple question every single day, 1 minute. How am I feeling? And if there's nothing, you can still build that. If there are feelings of overwhelm, you can still work with that. Again, you can also reach out to me for a free love outlet call. I've helped so many women and men to access their emotions, to access that internal connection, and to have a healthy relationship, because this is the foundation. And you know what's really funny? That is why it's not funny actually. It's just a fact. A lot of successful people struggle exactly that's why in relationship, because in our success, I mean, I remember going to school. In school they told us, if you want to be successful here, if you want to be a good student, you numb your emotions. We don't care how you're feeling. You better sit here, deliver, make that assignment, work. And I get it, this is just the student life. When we work, we have our um, we have our work, then of course our emotions go away and we just do the task. Is it like if you're a thief doctor, you're not talking about your emotions. Even if you just went through a breakup, you just do your job. Even when I have my clients, I'm not asking myself like, okay, what am I feeling right now? No, I'm guiding you right now. I'm listening to you right now. Let's make a plan for you. But then this is just the career. Okay, this is the career aspect. In the career, we are delivering, we are doing stuff, we are service oriented. Okay, perfect. But in relationships, we are numbing emotions. We're not doing the same thing like in the career, service oriented. We're actually emotionally available. I mean, emotionally stable is also another point. A lot of people, and this happened to me too, when they first start getting into their emotions, how am I feeling? It's like exploding. It's like you keep multiple volleyballs under the water and then suddenly you are trying to get them out and everything explodes. So it was for me too, not necessarily in a way that I would like hurt others, but I would just start crying, get in freeze and hide in my room. Like it was just too much. I really needed support to access those emotions and to calm myself down, because my nervous system was just acting out. It was just too much. And I see that with so many of my clients, female and male, that once you start unpacking everything, for some people it's just easy. Yeah, okay, I just learned in school I shouldn't access my emotions, so I didn't. But for some people, there really are stuck emotions, traumas from the past. So you've got to see where you are. But I just want you to know that you don't have to be stuck there. Only because you feel like, okay, if I open it, it will explode. Okay, let me help you to kind of like open it softly and catch all of the balls. Like it doesn't has to be out of control. Emotional stability is also very, very important for a relationship. If you don't have emotional stability, it's just not gonna be healthy. You can imagine fight, flight, freeze. I was mostly in flight and freeze, so me always hiding and in freeze mode. Like how could I be in a relationship or someone who's always like in fight mode? It's too much. But you see, I can't stop talking about this topic, because when we solve one problem, then there's the second. But we are getting at the bottom of the whole problem. So don't worry, it's not a process that goes on forever, but it is a process that you have to go through if you really want to be loved for who you are. And I know that a lot of successful people, successful women, but also successful men feel like, oh, maybe the person just likes me because of my money, because of my status. And I definitely had this problem when I was young. I was also modeling, and I always felt like, and it was also true, men just like me because I look pretty. And it was unfortunately only also true because I had nothing else. Like I was empty inside. I wasn't emotionally available. I couldn't attract a man who truly loves me. How? There was nothing to connect. I was empty, empty. Okay, I could get fake validation, fake love by being useful to someone, but not true acceptance. Because how? I wasn't existing. I was disconnected to myself, disconnected to my feelings, disconnected to my identity. Like my inner identity didn't even exist. And I know that this all of these things come from childhood. And our parents, caretakers, should have taught us that. Should have taught us to self-connect to emotions, to ground the emotions. Should have taught us to create our own identity and not just be pleasing. Like I had to just please to get something, to get love, attention. They should have done all of that, but they oftentimes don't. And this is why I needed coaching. This is why I needed to work on myself. And this is why I also became a dating and relationship coach to help you with exactly these problems. Because so many people struggle with having authentic relationships, healthy relationships. But there's a solution, because otherwise we just like keep breaking up. Okay, let me break up with this person and get another one. And while sometimes it is necessarily like, sometimes people are just not a good match, a lot of the times, most of the times, the pattern is going to keep repeating until you internally make a switch. For me, it was definitely like that. I broke up with one guy who didn't really love me, he was just using me, and then another showed up, and then another one. Why? Because the person who truly loved me couldn't even find me because there was nothing inside me. I was just numb. And also, I didn't really believe that I was worthy of that. So, worthiness is another point where it's like about receiving, when you are at the beach. Imagine you're at the beach. Maybe as a kid you've been having those buckets, remember, like those buckets where you kind of like play with it, and then you have like a small bucket, and then you have like a big bucket and a huge bucket. And worthiness is kind of those buckets. Like the universe is so abundant in money, in love, in acceptance, but I just had a small bucket, or even no bucket. A bucket to put the sand in. Like I just couldn't hold more. So all of these things come up in coaching as well, and they're just so important. Okay, so if you are right now dating and you see those patterns, reach out for a free love audit call. Send me an email, tell me your situation. And if you're also in a relationship and you see those patterns and you want to change them, you want to be loved for who you are, also reach out to me so that we can together work on these patterns, so we can together work on you being emotionally available so that you can attract someone emotionally available who actually loves you, and you don't have to be useful and then receive their fake love or attention. You get to be truly loved. And one last point that I want to make before we end this live stream here is that a lot of us think that when we are very beautiful as women, right? Very beautiful or kind, or especially as men, wealthy and status, we will automatically be loved. And again, it's not fully wrong. I mean, this is just how it is. Ask women and men. Men want a beautiful woman, and women want a successful man. Okay, this is what like people say superficially, but but if you are emotionally unavailable, it won't work. You will not be loved. You will be used. And again, I've experienced that myself. I was, you could say, very beautiful. I was modeling. I didn't get love. And so many of my clients, also male clients who are very successful, they are still not having any love. Like the girls are just like tolerating him because he paid for whatever, like the event, or gave her some money, or I don't know, maybe gave them a kiss because they got something. It's not enough, unfortunately. It's just not enough to be truly loved just because we have those things. While they help to attract first more people, it's not enough. But then you know what I also saw many times, also in my clients' success stories, that if you're emotionally available, and of course you are like, decently taking care of yourself and decently successful, your chance of actually getting into a healthy relationship and having love and being accepted for who you are, and the other person wanting to be around you, wanting to talk to you, wanting to love you, goes up by like 1,000%. It's crazy. That is why that emotional availability is just the most important thing. It goes up by 1,000%. Like, I mean, I had so many clients who kind of like had a best friend, you could even say, they had like a best friend, and maybe they haven't been the best looking, or maybe they haven't been in the peak earning time, but it didn't matter. They loved each other for who they are, and then they fell in love with each other and had a beautiful, beautiful connection and life. Yeah. So you see that there's so much more beyond what your current reality is. Maybe this pattern isn't necessarily yours where you are used and you are always having to be useful to love. Maybe you have another pattern. There are so many patterns. I can talk about this topic forever. There's so many other patterns. Okay? Maybe your pattern is that you can't speak up, or I don't know. Let me know in the comments after this live stream ends what kind of pattern you are in. But only because it's happening, it doesn't mean it has to happen in the future. The past is not a prediction, it's an information. And if you know how to break this pattern, your life can shift within weeks, within months. And this is what my clients experience. Okay? So don't believe that all women, all men want to use you. There are people who can and will truly love you once you're emotionally available and open to receive that. And it's easier said than done. So while I really hope this video inspired you to work on yourself, to have the right path towards true love, true acceptance and commitment. But if you desire more support, you can reach out also. My email is, in my description box, also in my bio. And let me know in the comments, have you experienced that pattern where you felt like only when I'm useful, only when I cook for him a meal, only when I give him a massage, only then I will get attention and some praise and love. Or only when I'm useful, only when I get her a gift or I fix her car, only then she will hang out with me. Let me know if you experienced that pattern and how you felt about it. And if you actually crave to be truly loved for who you are, to be truly accepted, to be seen, to be heard, to be yourself. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. And actually, I want to add one more thing. We're not ending this live stream. If you are that person on the other side that actually isn't being used, but you are using people, and giving them like fake love and attention. And again, there's no judgment on that either, because I have to admit, I was there for a short time, but I was there too. Like I completely switched the tables of like I'm being used to, okay, let me now myself just only hang out with people who are useful to me, and I will give them, I don't know, fake love or validation. If you're in this situation, first of all, again, like there's no shame, just be aware of that. But if you're in this situation, I can tell you from my story that I still felt empty. I still felt not loved. I was like, okay, fine. I got some compliments, things got done, I gave them fake validation. Like, it still felt empty, unfulfilling. And I also saw that obviously this person is feeling used, so I have too much empathy to kind of like do that. But it just felt so empty. Like, I just couldn't do it. Mm-mm. I just couldn't do it because I wanted to love as well. You know what I mean? Like we not only want to receive love, I also wanted to love. I also wanted to see and hear this person. I also wanted to accept them for who they are, see them for who they are, love them for who they are. I wanted to be around them physically, emotionally. So this is what I mean with having a fulfilling, loving relationship. If you're on either side where you are just like being used to get fake validation, or you give someone fake love and validation and get their, I don't know, you use them like an iPhone. Okay, yeah, do this for me. Okay, you did, thank you. Here, you're so nice. Like, this is just all fake and superficial. And while some people are there, I I kind of knew there's more. There's like this true love, true fulfillment, raw, honest connection. And on both sides, like I wanted someone who loves me, but I also wanted to love. I wanted to be with someone that I like emotionally and physically. And this is when I entered the space of true fulfillment, true love, and true connection. Okay? And this space is just so beautiful. So, 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 so beautiful. But again, what does it need? Being emotionally available. It needs vulnerability. And all of these things I had to learn. I didn't have that. Mm, my childhood, the traumas I've experienced took it away from me, but I was able to relearn it, and you can too. All right? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this pattern too, how you felt about it. And if you haven't, are you inspired of attracting true love, where you're truly loved and seen and heard? And if you know anyone who goes through that, send them this video so that they can at least get the self-awareness that there's something else out there for them and the steps. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I see you in the next one, and don't forget, if you need extra support, to reach out for a free love audit call.